you'll notice that my new assignment is listed here, and I can go ahead and type in scores directly into the gradebook. As I type scores, not only does the score appear, but the final grade in the class or the current grade adjusts and changes. And you'll see that each color or each score on the screen is represented in a different color. So the colors indicate the student's performance level. Anything that is showing up green indicates the student is earning between 80 and 100% on that assignment or in the class. The yellow color, that's a bit like a mustard color, and indicates between 60 and 80%. Anything showing up red in the gradebook means the student is earning less than 60% on that assignment or in the class. So you'll notice over here, these grades are also color-coded. You'll see that there is blue as well. This blue indicates that I've given extra credit. So on this assignment worth 25 points, I've given a 40, which not only counts as extra credit on this assignment, but also counts as an extra, has boosted the student over the 100% mark in the class. So if I were to go ahead and instead of putting in 10, I accidentally type in 100, you'll see that it turned blue, indicating I went above the number of points assigned for that assignment. If I need to, I can adjust it. So the blue could either be pointing out to you that you made a mistake or maybe that you intended to give extra credit. In addition to the scores, there are 2 marks you can use in the gradebook. You can excuse a student if they have not completed the work by putting E in the gradebook. We recommend using an E as opposed to a blank. While they are treated the same way for calculation purposes, the E will let parents and students know that that assignment has been excused and that you've acknowledged the assignment. To view how a student or parent sees Engrade, you can click on a student's name in the gradebook. So if we look at Ashley Jefferson, you'll notice that any assignment that she's been given is going to appear here by category. So for example, here's our homework. 59% in homework is her current score, while she's receiving a 99% in tests and an 80% in quizzes. You'll notice that each assignment that's been scored will have a score listed. So as a parent, you're seeing, okay, what's going on here? Why don't we have a score for a test? Why don't we have the dividing fractions assignment filled in? And my first reaction may be as a parent to go to the teacher and say, why haven't you graded these? Whereas if I see an E here, I know, okay, the teacher has seen this assignment, the teacher is working on it, or maybe my student is excused from that assignment. There is a comment section that you can use as a teacher to indicate how the student is, or to indicate why the student has been excused. For example, maybe the teacher has come up with a system of letting parents know NA, maybe that child will never need to do that assignment. Maybe it only pertains to a small group of students. Or instead of NA, maybe the student was absent and needs to complete by Friday. These are all ways of communicating that information to the parents. So we encourage you to use the E to let your parents know that it's been acknowledged, and then to use the comment as a way of letting them know why you've given that excused score. So be clear and use those tools to communicate to parents. We're going to go back to the gradebook. There is one other mark that you can use in the gradebook, and that is an M. So M is for a missing assignment. As you can recall on the first screen that we logged into, you were able to see the number of missing assignments for each class. On Engrade, there are several places where we track missing assignments. We found that by pointing out to students which assignments are missing and which assignments are outstanding, it has really increased their responsibility level and their involvement in their learning. And a little bit of a sense of ownership we've provided by showing them what they need to do to improve their grade. So I encourage you to use an M. Now, notice the M is red, and that's because it counts as a 0. So this assignment of 10 points is being counted against the student, whereas an E excuses the assignment, and it's not counting against the student. So it's an important distinction. When you do give an M, it is going to reflect in the student's grade. There is a report we can run, and I'll show that in just a few minutes, that will pull all the missing assignments for your class and display them for you, as well as on the student reports. So that's a really important thing to remember, though, is that it does get treated as a 0. So again, we're going to go ahead and click on a student's name. We'll choose Catherine. This is the parent view. So in addition to having all the assignment information as well as comments, you have a scoring guide down below, a key with the grading scale, and your policies. You'll notice there is an E and an M, so that when students and parents see those codes, it is clear to them what those different codes mean. We're going to go ahead and click Print. This is a particular report that you could run at the marking period, or halfway between the marking period, so this might be a midterm report. You'll notice that it's very similar to the screen we just saw. You have the grade in the class, you have each category grade, you have the assignments, the scores on the assignments, and you also might notice that the M now shows up as MIS, as a bold MIS, where it's very clear to parents that assignment is missing and has not been turned in. Down below, you'll see the E here has turned into EXC to be even more clear to parents that that is excused. So this report, again, can be printed for one student, and then I can also show you where you'd print that for multiple students. So we'll go back to the gradebook. And under the print menu, you have several options. So we are going to show print student reports. That's the same report we just looked at. However, this one includes every student in the class. You'll see that it looks as if these students run together from one student to the next, but they will actually print out on separate sheets of paper. So again, this makes for a really nice midterm or midway through the grading period report, or possibly a periodic report you send home several times during the grading period, just to keep your students and parents updated on where they're at with all the different assignments. So as you can see, every student is included on this report. We'll go back to the gradebook. Under the print menu, you can also see there is a print missing reports. So the missing report, as I said, pulls every assignment that every student is missing in your class. It breaks down by student, the grade they currently have, and that assignment itself that is missing. So the due date and the number of points that the student is missing because they have not turned in that work. So this is really nice for teachers. It prevents you from having to hunt through your grade book looking for those assignments, looking for those zeros or whatever mark you've used in the past. Without having to do that, you just click one button and you're able to see the list of all the students in the class that have outstanding work. Also under the print menu, I'd like to really point out the export gradebook. This is